everybody! Welcome back to my channel. This is Leala and Beau.
Hello, Beau. It's August 28th, Saturday, 1:55-ish in the afternoon. Warm outside, sunny. Nice day to go to Target.
Yep. Today we are going to go over Girls Planet Goo 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 episode 4 recap.
God, it's only been 4 episodes.
That's a month.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
And we have so much to discuss today, everyone.
I've got
dive
notes.
in.
I've got notes.
I'm in charge of the presentation and Beau's in charge of the notes. You should see this scrawled mess that looks like a doctor prescription. Today,
Okay, I figured it out.
we're going to discuss the 7 Connect mission performances that we got to see that were kind of spoiled last week by the fan cams, but that's fine. Who the winning teams were. And then after that, we're going to talk about the current cell rankings and the benefit votes and share with everyone our top 9.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Nice.
Okay. We ready to dive in?
Yeah.
We have a lot to do today.
Go for it.
We have a lot to do. Okay. Performances. The first one was the Team 1 called Crown, who did Eyes 1's Fiesta. This is the Red Fiesta team.
Yes.
Who, spoiler alert, were the winning team.
Yeah, it was spoiled from Mnet before all this.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, a lot of these performances, because they put out the fan cams last week, we were like poring over the fan cams. People were mashing them up together to see the whole performances.
Yeah.
So seeing them was kind of nice, but a lot of my just general excitement towards all the other performances this week was kind of like
Lowered? Because you'd seen some?
Because it was kind of, it's been spoiled, but still.
Yeah.
This group's leader was Marshmallow Mashiro.
There's 9 people, right? And Eyes 1 is 12. So I'm curious I never thought about that, how they rearrange and stuff. I do have a note here. Where do Marshmallow's dimples go when she's not smiling?
Thanks for taking really important notes for us to discuss. Where do Marshmallow's dimples go? They disappear, but they appear when she smiles.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, this group did really well. They had Raynef with the power vocals, who wasn't actually the main vocal.
Which I'm fine with. Totally
I
fine
can't
with.
remember the girl's name. Who was the
I'm
main
sorry, I
vocal?
can't either.
I'm
But
sorry.
she did good.
She did quite well. Yeah.
I think they liked.
Was it Sunwoo?
She did. She was in Raina's group, wasn't she?
I'm
The
sorry.
little 4-person team.
I'm really bad.
When they did Mama Moo, she was in that group.
remember.
Anyway, she was great. Raina didn't complain or anything. And Raina's good. She smiles and she's very pretty and she dances well. So
yeah. This is I think we said this last time. This is probably the most difficult technically song that's
look what
been
they're doing
performed.
there.
Eyes One
crazy,
songs
man.
just have a lot going on, and there's just so much intricate detail in the dance and the song and all the layers. So singing it live, the fact that they even did what they did, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I thought they did quite well.
And making up for 3 people who aren't there because it's a 12-person thing.
And,
so,
yeah.
That wasn't arranged by them, I'm sure, but still, it was. I don't know how they did it. Somebody must have figured it out. But which one is Zing Zhao? I have Zing Zhao.
Huang Xing Chao.
Chao. I must have wrote it down
Chao.
on my notes. Said I have she messed up.
She was in Yeso's group, and
she
Yeso,
was,
Mashiro,
yes.
and Xing Chao was the third member of her group, and she was having a really hard time.
She was number 26 in the season.
Yeah, she was kind of
she
lower.
was lower. I thought it was nice.
And she was having a hard time. So in the interim, the interim evaluation from the judges, they were ranked quite low, and Yeso was pretty upset about that. But they worked really hard together and pulled it back around. So everyone was impressed with her in the end, considering what a hard time she was having.
The thing is, she didn't have a big part. She was like vocal 7 or probably something. She was not even really. She had probably about as small as Yes, but she was just messing up the basic dances and her didn't have the words. So she worked on it. I love that.
Yeso sounded and looked amazing.
And
I love her so
Nako's
much.
little sister.
And this week someone had said, that. Yeso looks like Nako.
And Nako heard this and talked about it.
Yeah, someone had mentioned it to Nako. Nako talked about it in a live stream. That, everyone's telling me that I look like Yeso from, Girls Planet. And she was like, oh, it's such a compliment because she's so pretty. And at first I was like, no, they don't. And then we saw a picture of Yeso when she was with Busters, and she had bangs.
Bangs and bluish hair, silver hair or something.
game over when she
Yeah,
has
she
bangs.
looked like
They're
her.
twins.
And her voice is similar.
And her voice is similar. So I was like, how did I not put two and two together that my new fave is the same as my old fave?
She's a bit tiny too, isn't she? Though?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah,
so I
she's
love
great.
Yeso even more.
Yeso's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
I still think she's gonna make it.
I really hope so.
I love her. I love her. She's so nice, and she was so good. And she was upset with when they were ranked really low because
Mm-hmm.
because of Xing Chao was in her group, but they worked it out. You know, you're
worked
going to
it
be
out.
kind of mad, but she chose to love 26 girl.
There are 7 performances in this episode. We talked about before about how are they going to fit all that in. They fit it all in by really rushing through the stories of everything
Which is
and kind of
fine.
picking one small storyline for each team. For this one, it was just happened to be her having a hard time.
They'll probably show. I bet you they'll
So
show a
for
couple
each
more
team.
clips of stuff
Anything else
on the
for
website.
Red Team
No,
Fiesta?
fantastic. They won, like we said.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did great. Raina's vocals, I'm glad she did a sub vocal because she has a certain kind of trained-ish sounding voice. It's not so K-poppy sounding, so I'm glad it worked out wonderfully. Mashiro, Marshmallow, adorable as hell, is this center little thing.
She's really growing on me a ton.
Voice. She has a neat voice.
I like her a ton.
Yeah.
And she's quite popular.
I'm trying to think who she reminds me of, but yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
She's good.
Okay. And so after that was the Blue Team Butterflies Fiesta performance. This team had Bahie in it, and my only note, or the only thing that I remember, because a lot of the members of this team aren't people that I've had my eye on, was that Bahie was kind of one of the standouts of this performance.
She did well.
She did quite well.
She still has facial stuff. She still kind of has a hard time really emoting a lot. No, she'll work on that. But I thought she was graceful and sounded nice.
The story for this one was that Miyu was having a hard time with her vocals and hitting the high note because they didn't really have a lot of people that could do that on this team. And so she practiced so much in doing it. And in practice, did it okay? Was there that she wrecked her voice and couldn't do it in the final performance.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And a lot of people have been saying, and I agree that why did the vocal coaches let her wreck her voice, and then dock her for having a hard time after she wrecked her voice because she wasn't practicing?
People say that stuff a lot, but I think if you
way.
watch the show, you'll see hints about what they do. He mentioned that I believe it was the dancer, the vocal coach guy, said we've trained with them 3 times and they had over 10 days. Each the last thing they had filmed over 10 days. He said we trained with whoever the group was 3 times. So they do meet him with them. I imagine she was doing better slowly and then wrecked between meeting them. And she didn't really wreck her voice. You can't. I'm just surprised, like in other reality shows, they spend a moment to tell them how to sing correctly. Just even a moment, you know. And they haven't done that, but I wouldn't be surprised as well as if they did, and it's just not interesting content, they think, which is fine. They've got a lot to fit in, but once the culling happens and they take away 48 girls or whatever it is, 46 girls, 45 girls, we're going to see more of that type of stuff. But yeah, Baye is it Baye? Baye. I love that name, by the way. I can only see her brother every time I see her, but I like her. I think it's kind of a neat story that she's trying to come into her own and she's improving. They didn't mention her at all.
No,
but that could have been
no screen time for Bahie. No,
she doesn't need
no
it.
Focus for Bahie.
By the way, this right here looks like they're in a
storyline.
shower. Right there, watch for a second. Looks like the fountain. Looks like they're all staying in a big shower, like they're miniature. But yeah, she just her facial expression, but she's getting better, and I'd be happy to see her.
She was the bright
stick
spot
around.
of this performance.
Yeah, she's cool. Good for
her. We
her.
can move on. After that were the 2 Oh My Girl teams.
Oh my God!
The first was Team 1 called Our Season, and they are the white Oh My Girl team, and oh my goodness, they had Bora as the leader and Shining Star.
She's amazing. I think I liked her before we liked her because she sang guitar and she had the fairy wings and all that. It was really in her little intro, and she was really pretty and sang really pretty. But I didn't know she could sing this powerful stuff.
Oh man, she kills.
Now
the
this
vocals.
one has been really bad because people, were really angry at how the judge says, "Look, you sounded so good in practice. I'm disappointed you didn't sound that good now." If you watch it, and I said this on the subreddit, I said it's true. In the practice they did sound better, but it was like comparing a 98 to a 95 out of 100. It was that close.
Exactly.
Here in this one here, and that note they're hitting right there together, that's the one that soured the coach. You can tell because the girl on the right, what's her name? I
Just
forget
a
her name.
little bit off.
It wasn't.
Not,
It was the one on the right.
You would never know because again, we spoiled the performances by seeing all the fan cams, so we didn't know like if this is the only one you'd ever seen, you would think, oh wow, they did amazing. How could it even be even better? And then you go back and they're showing the practice, and it is actually even better. And you're like, whoa! In practice, they were even better.
Yeah, I know that.
But yeah, it was a humongous nitpick. Like they were just nitpicking.
Bora is probably my number one now.
And Liang Jiao, graceful, elegant, beautiful.
In fact, they didn't
show-stopping, iconic.
Yeah, they didn't talk to her though.
Her little high-pitched voice, she just did so well.
Yeah, she's very good in that
Oh
stuff.
my goodness!
I put the twins. They asked them about competing against each other, practicing together. That was cool. When they
asked the twins about competing against each other.
It
was
was dark
cute.
and light,
dark and light,
good and evil. That yin and yang and whatever. And it was like, okay, calm down. Carrots and potatoes. No. They were the vocal coach, the older woman, or seems a little bit more serious.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like her, and it's like, no, she's there to give critique. And she actually, I think it was her, it was Tiffany in the black group we'll talk about. She said, hey, I like you guys are maturing. The twins have that sweet little voice. It's perfect for like a sub vocal.
And this one, Zhao chose a vocal part,
and she did
whereas
great.
her sister did a rap part in the other one.
Which I love that they do two different parts.
Yeah.
I put fairy dress SH blank T. What is that? Their dresses?
That you love fairy dress stuff is what you were saying yesterday.
This. I was trying to explain it to you, but this is the.
We were listening to. You had this on for a solid 8 hours on repeat in your office yesterday.
No, not that. No. I could have though. Bora is like the quintessential idol to me, and singing the quintessential type of idol music, which is escapism kind of music, not real hard and not like rap and stuff, which is fine. To me, it's this ultimate stuff where it's like fairies singing about feeling good, and this is good positive stuff. Bora did so good as a leader, but she has experience, and they love that. I'm such a sucker for that stuff. It's like inspirational. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it might have been editing, but she really is good. And the shame is that I don't think. I'm not sure she'll make it, and because she's already got a group, but I would love to see her do more solo, just on her YouTube channel, guitar. Maybe she does already. I need to check her out because she went up to my number one.
You said yesterday, you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do if Bora doesn't make it, and I'm like, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna stand Cherry Bullet is what you're gonna do.
Yeah, no, I was listening to their album yesterday. Their last album's good.
Yeah, they do have some bops.
Okay, so 2 points on this though. Notice now I didn't see the video for fifth season, the original song, but notice when Bora, right after this section in the GIF here, she goes over and goes, duh, and hits a high note, and then goes, and puts her hands together like Moa from Baby Metal, going, yeah. And it is so cool. I couldn't place it, and I don't think they do that in the song. If you listen to the high note in the
original,
song, she doesn't go, eh. And I don't know if she improv that or what, but it just freaking works.
Yeah.
But if you do watch the practice, that had to be like, they had chills in the practice.
Honestly.
And that's why the woman, I think, the coach was kind of like, I'm a little disappointed, is because, and people have to give her the benefit of the doubt. She's listening to the different feeds. She's got the crowd. It might have sounded a little rough.
Yeah, again, you're like you said, nitpicking a 95 versus a 98 when the group before them was like a 70 or something.
It was, but I liked also in the practice, they practiced with one boombox a lot together. That's what I love about these shows is although there is a lot of gimmicky stuff and editing stuff, it's kind of it's basically good stuff. Okay. I don't know what Tiffany knows real. I forgot what that part.
Okay, that let's move on to the next team because that's what
that's what it is.
My real recognized real comment is because the team 2, the black team had the other twin, Liang Chao, in it, and she did the rap part like we said, and she did it great. And Tiffany, who never says anything on the show really, like she probably says the least of all.
More in practice than during the
maybe. Yeah. She was there for some of the practices and had some stuff to say, but she doesn't say much, or at least they don't edit it to show that. Yeah. But her one compliment was to Chow, saying that she was impressed that she had this versatility and looked mature and
very much,
and professional.
Well, look how Tiffany was dressed. They were dressed alike too.
She wasn't just cute; that they do have some versatility. So I said, "Real, recognize real," because I am so glad they put that in there.
This kind of thing the twins have been doing for years on their solo channels. You can see them doing a pretty dance in heels. They've been versatile.
And this is the one that I misspoke earlier about the reluctant leader. That was Ra Yun, who
Yeah.
reluctantly was the leader of this team and also main vocal for
I
this team.
felt bad for her.
Because they didn't have anyone else.
She's so pretty and she can sing well. She just is nervous about not hitting that high note, so she just needs a little training. That's a hard note to hit, especially when Bora does it. And you're like, oh God, did white team go first?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine following that. You know what I mean? And she hit it, but nowhere near the. But I think they still did well. I think they were more impressed by the black team's progress, whereas the white team kind of seemed to stagnate. This seems to happen to the teams that do really well. They get so good at practice. Live, they wanted to see them do even better, and that'll come up later in the other shit. But
is that a fair criticism? I don't know if that's a fair criticism.
I think
like good is good. You can't be like, well, you started off so good that you didn't get better. That whereas if you stumble and we're doing bad in the beginning and then you get better, then it's
not
more
an invalid criticism. It's not invalid.
Satisfying. I don't know if that's a fair criticism.
It's not invalid.
It doesn't feel
though.
fair to me.
They're trying to find something.
I know.
They're not going to go, you're so amazing, because then they might not win. And then
Right.
So, I mean, on this segment at 41 minutes, 49 seconds around there, right as Tiffany's talking about song structure, listen for the scream. What the hell was that? I was like, ah! And I was like, what?
In the background.
In the background.
In the background. She's talking and then someone's just yelling and I have no idea why.
I think they're just
Did someone fall down the stairs?
being silly. One of the twins probably just making somebody laugh, snort, like spit water. Just somebody being funny. But I liked it. And I don't know why I have cool ears. Who has cool ears?
I don't know.
This was the team
I
made
don't know why
with
you wrote
the girl who has, she calls them elf ears.
Yeah,
I love that she emphasized that. But they were good. Black Swan was good.
Yeah, I like the Black Swans too.
Mm-hmm.
They did well. It was just that the other team just did so amazing
Just
that
better
you can't really.
overall.
But yeah, okay. So moving on from
Let me
that,
change my pages from my
we
notes.
get into the EBS, the boy group song teams. There's 3 of those teams. The first one was Team Charisma Mask that did BTS Mic Drop.
Two. It's a very hard song. First of all, you've got to own it or not. Mm-hmm. Okay, you say what you want.
I'll say the standout for me was Jungmin. I mean, we liked her and complimented her on her other performances too. I really liked her a lot.
I like her a lot. Yeah.
She was the standout and the highlight of this performance, but I don't think she was capable of fully deadlifting her whole team. No. Like Gia did in the How You Like That team, where she fully deadlifted the whole team. I don't think that she did that. Overall, it's just one of those songs that, like, it's a banger, you know? One must perform a banger, like it's a banger.
Yeah.
Like, watch BTS perform this song, and I know you can't compare it exactly. It's a totally different thing. But just watch their energy. They're doing it like this is the hardest thing, and they're doing it like their life depends on it. Like, all these moves are just so intense.
Yeah.
They pop them. It's hard. And the girls just kind of, like, some of them were doing the least.
Yeah, I think overall they were, and I agree, that they weren't critical of this team because they were doing such a hard song from a bunch of girls who
were having a hard time. Yeah.
There was language issues I put down too. They had some language translation. It's hard, but they got credit for doing better,
for improving.
So
yeah,
they
because
didn't win. But
they were a mess at their first evaluation with the judges. They were just a mess. Nobody had learned the lyrics. Nobody had learned the moves. So the fact that they got to the point where they did, where they performed it well, like it was good. It was
good enough.
Valid performance, like it was good. It's not one that I'm gonna like take away and remember.
If they would have had another
that's just me.
If they would have had another week with some more the judges saying, "Hey, tweak this," like the dance guy went behind the stage to talk to them. I think that was a moment to say that he knew this was probably the most challenging in a way because you have to own it.
For this team,
yeah, the Eve team, you have to act a little sexy and like that. But this is a different kind of masculine energy where you're like,
But that's not to say that like girls are not capable of having that energy.
Of course.
Because we've already seen other girls have that energy and do that. We saw in the intro when the girls did Kick It, they killed that song.
I think
as
they
a
did
boy
a
group
bit
song.
a bit better than some.
And
some NCT
you know,
members.
if you watch Luna do NCT songs, they kill it too.
Of course, that's what
it's
I'm
not that girls or girl groups can't do a song like this and do it justice. That's not the case at all. They totally can.
If they would have tweaked it, it would have worked.
It just, for this team, it just wasn't my favorite performance, but it's no shade to any of them individually.
I have down the Eve team should have done this song.
Yeah,
just
can
for
you
fun.
imagine the Eve team doing this? Can you imagine Hikaru?
Yeah.
And so Richie.
Where you can do watching behind the stage, just having a good time.
They would have killed, I think. But that's neither here nor there. Anything else to say on?
No,
Mic drop?
the leadership was poor in this one. And the young man, is it
She
young?
was Donna. She was having a hard time.
That's Jungmin, right? Who we're seeing here in the middle.
Uh-huh.
We love her. She kind of took over.
Yeah.
At least as far as the edits were concerned, and she was helping with the dance. That's fine. A good leader lets whoever do, whatever needs to be done. So I liked it. It's a hard song.
On to the next one. This was Team Q-Teen, who did 17's Pretty You, which, so spoiler alert, is the winning team of all the boy groups teams. We'll get into a little bit of that. But Pretty You is one of those songs that just transfers so well to being a girl group song. It could have been a girl group song all along.
It's a Broadway
It just
song.
17 have that style where it just transfers so well. And then the actual members that were in this team suited this song so well.
Yeah.
And just did such a good job of, I think what the judges said too was just like transferring the vibe of the song. Like, the performance and the vibe was just on point.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the judges had them switch the center part midway through to Mia from the other girl.
Mia. Yeah, Gwen Mia.
Because Maya was just...
She's too much. Like, just put her
She's
in
just
there.
too cute. You
gotta
just
throw her
can't
in there.
deny that power. That power level is just too high.
And look what happened. They won.
Which
the
is
whole
kind
thing.
of sad, but, I think the other girls told her, don't have hard feelings about it. It's not that you weren't good enough. It's
that
just
girl
that
who stepped
Mia
back,
was just...
they got that win, and now that girl's
Yep.
got 3 triple votes.
Exactly.
We know who Maya is. The girl that Maya replaced. I saw her, but I don't remember much
She
about
didn't
her.
stand
but now,
out.
now she's got a part.
But
Now the
Maya
singer in the
stands
middle
out.
there, I remember her. She's the best singer.
Their
so.
vocalists did a good job. They did quite well. It wasn't like I'm blown away by it or anything like that.
but it's not that kind of a song.
But it's not really that kind of song, but they did really well. Maya's freaking adorable.
Yeah, she's good. And this thing as a kid is often the most nervous, can be one of the most nervous type of people in these shows. They're just like, oh, stay shut down. She was like, whatever. And she was sweating in the pride. And then when it was over, she helped push the couch back. Like just little moments like that with her. She wants
She's just
to do
one
it.
of those
She
kids who
wants
just
to
has
be
a
in it.
lot of energy and is like very outgoing and just a theater nerd kind of kid, Like,
And who's the
we love
theater
her.
nerd girl who's in
The
her
actual theater nerd girl, yeah.
in the solo thing, she's saying, "I'm popular." Is that
Yeah.
was that Yuzu? Anyway, they asked her to do a little
Honestly, I
cutie
don't
part
remember her
again
name, so.
because I didn't know what they felt about her because she kind of looks like she is on Broadway.
Yeah.
And they asked her to do the cutie part again, and she did it. And
Yeah.
so she got some screen time from it. And she's kind of popular too. She's got a cool look and sound and stuff. So it was nice to see her. The tall redhead, I couldn't even remember her, and now I'm like, oh, I remember her now.
Yeah, she
good
did well too.
She might have been leader.
I like them. They did this really well. I love this song. I love this song.
Makes you happy,
It's a good song.
I'm glad they picked him. And who predicted it?
He's gonna say that now that we're recording and there's no evidence otherwise. Did you predict it in the
Yes,
last
what are you talking
episode?
about? Yeah. Oh, I don't know about. I don't know if I predicted in the last episode, but I had
He
said
insists that
17
he
is going to.
predicted.
You know I
predicted
did.
this.
You're turning.
Okay, I
me.
believe you. Okay.
I totally predicted it because I knew maybe it was from the previews, but I knew that it was for the judges, not a safe bet or anything like that. But I knew that it owned what it was.
Here's the thing we can all learn about Mnet editing for this show in particular.
Beau predicted
They spent
it.
all that time focusing on the Eve team. They didn't show this team at all in any of the clips or anything.
I knew it was.
That means they're the real winner.
Right.
Because they want to, there's misdirection involved, everyone. There's misdirection.
Right, but Eve team.
Because they were focusing on Eve team, making you think that they were going to be the ones to win, and nope.
But Eve team didn't lose.
No.
So they still
Right.
they just didn't win. Yeah, we're good. That was great. I love this. I love this so much.
It. And the last team, the Eve team. I did part of my gushing last week about the fan cams. Again, as I have said before, this song is like one of the greatest K-pop songs of all time.
It is a good song.
And this group has all of my faves in it. Like this lineup has almost all of some of my top faves. I'll put it that way. And they slayed the vocals on this song.
They did.
Next level.
Yeah, the 3 main vocals.
Like
Shauna,
Shauna,
Ji-yoon,
Ji-yoon, and Dayan.
Yeah, they were good.
Like the coaches did spend some time in the edit at least complimenting Shauna, But the fact that they didn't like gush over Ji-yoon, like how could you not? She sounds amazing.
She's the main vocal.
And even Diane, they focused a lot on Diane's.
They said you guys
struggle with
make
her
facial expressions. Oh well, yeah. She cried a lot, and it was this whole little segment where she, it's not like she's being a problem, but she was to be fair, she was the catalyst to them speaking up and changing around the.
Yeah,
the
so we didn't talk about it last time, but this team, when they were choosing parts, the way they went about doing it wasn't really the way that everyone else has gone about doing it, in which that you can just, if you're interested in a part at all, everybody try out for it. Yanning kind of insisted that you pick the only one that you want and go for that one, which is a bit confusing. I don't really get how that works. But however it worked out
because
it made Diane end up with like a very small part at the end, and she was upset.
But in the beginning of that segment, there are 4 or 5 people trying out that one part.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So I don't get what she meant. Like, okay, well you tried for your one part, now you're going to get the leftovers, I guess. I think that what's her name, the redhead, Fu Yanning, was she's just really headstrong. She knows she's getting that vibe, so she's going to be pushing out, and I think she was just going with a leadership style she thought she had, and it wasn't working in the fluffy, pretty world of of K-pop, where it's like we have to all talk about it and then maybe cry a little bit, But I do, as I watched this more, because I was fascinated with this song at first, the vocals, and now I'm stuck on Bora's song. I do see the weaknesses in it. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad at all. It's, again, like a 95 to a 98 type of thing. But they do seem to be all strutting individually. Maybe it's the editing. They're trying to... the lead vocal, I think, was the only one to kind of and Shauna, successfully kind of stay in the song and working together, but they have their little pop-out moment. But the rest of them
I can see how they said that it didn't seem as much like a team as
a bunch of
individuals trying to kind of be the center of attention.
Well, the clue we had is when I love just writing So Rich, when she said well, you've got the killing part and this big vocal part, and she's like, why not both? And I thought, and she didn't literally say why not both, but whatever she said, I want to do both. I thought was a brilliant little insight into what she's thinking. I mean, but everybody's thinking that in this team, except maybe Hikaru. She seems cool with whatever because she's not a vocal person necessarily. They were all like, I want to do 4 parts. I want to be in the front and growl.
They weren't thinking. Most of the members of this team weren't thinking about the team or their performance as a whole. They were thinking about, I'm going to get mine or whatever. And that's kind of what happens. You have a lot of people that are stars and they're at the top and stuff.
It was good, definitely.
And a lot of these girls too, having been through multiple reality shows like this, are really this is their chance now, and they're like going for it, and they've been through the ringer, and they want this to be the last time. And I get that vibe or whatever. But I'm so happy that we saw the performances first. So we didn't know the way that it had been arranged before, though we did gather that Diane's part had been changed.
Yeah, somebody figured it out.
But we didn't get what had actually happened to lead up to that. But when you saw them in practice, whenever So Richie had she has the center part and then also one of the vocal parts.
Main vocals.
And it's not that she was doing bad, but that was not the play.
She was not doing great.
That was not the play for her. That was not the place.
She's not as good of a singer.
I saw that and I was like, nope, absolutely. It's not that she was bad or that anything like that. It was just that was not where she should be.
No.
She should be where she was, which is at the front in the beginning.
Yeah.
And starting off the song, but not also doing the main vocal type vibe.
Yeah.
So, he had them talk to each other. They talked it out. They rearranged the parts. And it made everything so much better, and it gave Diane what she wanted, which is that time to shine, which she deserves because her vocals are astounding.
Yeah, no, she was great. But if you watch even in this clip, this is what we're talking about, what they're talking about. So Richie's giving this, now granted, she's in the center stuff, but look at Shauna to the left and Hikaru to the right. Shauna's looking down. That's cool. She's doing a cool move. She's not... The rest of them some of them, the main ones were really every little shot we're trying to grunt. And I'm not making fun of them or anything. I think they were, if this song would have won, I would have been perfectly cool as well. I would have expected it. So we were all going like, of course it won. But I can see the weaknesses there. It's just the judges didn't, maybe it was translation or something. It didn't come across why, but it was amazing. I mean, give me a break. But I don't want to see necessarily all the powerhouses in one group because you do have weird stuff going like this.
Yeah.
Hikaru, by the way, it was off time. Maybe not. I'll listen to the original song at the very beginning. let me know if anybody else doesn't hear that. But she was just a bit, and I'm surprised I didn't mention
and
that.
that one thing that I think Sunmi actually put well, though everyone was calling her out on it because it's the same thing that she does, is that certain girls that have these like really strong features, like so Richie and Dahyun and Yaning, you can easily look like you're trying too hard.
Yeah, biting your lip and you're
if you're, kind of scrunching your brow and scowling and or biting your lip or things like that. Those sort of intense expressions this isn't the way she said it, but I think this is what she meant. It can be oversold really easily when you're that pretty and you have those facial you have to just know your tool, And like Dahyun, do you not realize how naturally gorgeous you are? You don't have to try to look sexy. Just exist.
Yeah. Well, I think
like you just exist. Do the bare minimum, and it's going to be so much more effective than her trying to try too hard, and then she looks a little silly.
People had issues with them having that criticism, but I have a feeling they didn't have too many.
Fair.
I thought it was a minor criticism that would have been like on a bullet point somewhere, like just be careful about your facial sometimes.
I thought it was probably,
but there was probably.
I thought it was really fair and probably some of the best advice that I think that they need to hear.
Practical advice,
that they need to specifically hear.
Right, but they'll get that as they relax
because.
And stuff.
Yeah, you need to know what you're working with.
Yeah, watch
your
Shauna
vibe.
in this.
Like what Shauna never looks like she's trying too hard.
No, she looks amazing. She sounds amazing.
And Yaning, when she scowls, she looks terrifying. Don't do that. Don't scowl.
You're not looking mad. You're trying to.
You don't you look like you want to kill me. I'm terrified of you, young lady. Please.
This isn't. She's got that vibe down though, where she's kind of like strutty. Like hey.
She needs to refine that, and I think that's. But everyone's saying it's funny that it came from Sunmi because Sunmi does that. But I don't feel like Sunmi overdoes anything. I think that's just she does it well.
Yeah, she's fine. But
but anyway,
if you watch Shauna though, she's an example of how you want to be alluring in a song like this without being you don't want to be like, oh geez, I'm sorry, did I bother you? You don't. It's not like that. Minor criticism again. They did amazing.
Intimidating.
But I think what I'm saying is that might have been some of the only criticism that got out of the judges, so they had to put that in the edit, and it looks like she's nitpicking, whereas there was a lot of other little things that. But it was not perfect, but they're not the perfect team yet or perfect people yet. That's what's fun about it.
And I appreciated too for this team in particular, and if the fact that they didn't win, it's like okay, even though I love them, it gave other people some time to shine and to show their strengths because they've spent all the 3 episodes leading up to here gushing with praise for Richie and Hikaru. Yeah. And all these top members that. It's nice to have a moment for other people to get to see their strengths. Yeah. So that the fact that they didn't win or they didn't spend a lot of time, and that with this team in particular, they spent more time focusing on Dahyun, who we hadn't got to know yet, and got to see her skills.
It was kind of a poor light, but it was fine.
I don't know how I feel about the way she behaved. It wasn't like the most perfect way to behave.
No, but
I also 100% understand where she's coming from, and why she felt the way she did, and why she did it the way she did. Some of us don't like conflict.
She wasn't being manipulative or anything. She was being honest.
And Yaning doesn't realize how intimidating she is. Some people that are intimidating sometimes don't realize how intimidating they are. So even just speaking up to her to say, hey, like maybe we should do this, or I'd like to do something differently. She was scared to do that. She should have not been, because this is her fate as well on the line.
Too.
You have to stand up for yourself. So there's lots of criticism to go around with this team, but
they weren't bad.
The end result was
they were fine.
Beautiful song.
Yeah. The more I see Shauna and listen to her, I loved her more.
Jiyoon is like.
Yeah, June's awesome. Yeah.
Whoa.
There's still a few little parts, but when she's improv and stuff, but it's barely.
It's so good.
Imagine her after getting in the group and doing singing with a group for a year.
I love her.
She's gonna be incredible.
I love her.
Yeah,
Main vocal.
I like her too. She's got an interesting voice. It's almost like husky sounding.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next. Okay. Now we'll talk about voting and ranks. So last time they showed us the interim top 17 cells. This was based off of the first week of votes. Now voting is over. It's all in God's hands now. This is all of the teams that you see here that have the yellow around the edges are teams that won, so therefore have a double vote for their last 24 hours. Right. And this blue team here is the 17 team, so they got triple votes for their last 24 hours.
Right. And don't forget the red Yes or Yes team is going to be on Mnet.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. The red Yes or Yes team's going
to... So their votes might triple anyway.
We'll talk about that next time because we'll probably have seen it by next time. Yeah.
I'm glad they were good. Good.
It was okay.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm okay with that.
That's what I'm saying.
The hearts are our personal faves here, and the question marks are the teams that are currently above the cut line that, for me personally, no negativity in this space. I would be okay if they went below the cut line.
Let me double check your...
Because we have our other favorites that need to move up. We have 3 cells that need to... We want to move up. So I had to put marks to show who I would be okay with moving down because they're not my favorites or whatever. It's not that they're bad. Nobody here is actually bad.
I'd be happy with all of them.
Everyone is lovely and good. I thought, well, if I want 3 more to be up here, I have to think about who should go down. So it's just the teams that for me,
I couldn't even tell you who Yamaguchi Moana... I've heard Moana. I remember hearing her name being it's like the movie, right? I think some of these I never even see. Now, it's editing and stuff, but it's just oh my God, who are these people? So, over here, Yale Wang, she's the really popular Chinese C group. She's so pretty, and on the subreddit, they're showing me her photos.
And we like Jungmin, but again, it's not like I'm okay with go down. I don't know.
Well, the sales are going to end after this, the great culling that they're.
But this is how things stood a week ago. I think it's going to be completely shaken up by the time that eliminations
I bet you Urena
come
drops
around.
down because she wasn't active in this last. We already saw her.
And I think this top maybe 2 rows are pretty.
I bet you half of them drop, not down below 17, but drop quite a bit.
No,
3 or 4 positions.
I refuse to make any predictions
Yeso,
like
no.
that.
Surichi, no. Urena's group might drop down. Yujin probably stays up there, but I bet she drops 1 or 2 spots.
No, my prediction is they remain this top.
That's a powerful group.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? There's just some in there that it's just like you've got Rurika and Chaeyun's cell, which is the cutest of the cutes.
I worry about them.
But I do worry too because they've kind of gone weeks ago.
I worry about them.
They've also gone.
I worry about Diane. She's kind of here down on the edge, and she got a lot of screen time, but I don't know if a lot of people felt sympathetic towards her or felt the same way I did about it. That it was worth it because she's such a good performer.
I think she sang well and is beautiful. People will just love her for that.
Yeah, and
she showed a side of her that was real.
Their team's still right on that edge there, but I feel like their screen time and everything was shown. They were so likable.
I think
Wonjae and her.
I think Wonjae, after the culling and after they break up the cells, which I think they will do, Wonjae will probably continue to stay up here. I think she's got something that's just really. Yeah. I think she's so passionate about it. Momo as well. Just her popularity might help. Now, what's her name? Cutie Patootie, seeing there will probably drop down, because But she was good. She was good. But
so as I mentioned, these are the 3 that are currently, as of the mid-interim voting, not in the top. That I'm kind of worried about,
Bora, oh my
particularly
God.
Bora.
Oh my God, she's 8-19 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's close.
It's not that close.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if she's one of the ones they would choose to keep.
I'm worried about Gia.
I wouldn't be surprised if Gia.
I really would like to see Gia go further. I would just really want to see more from her. And then
too.
Chao, I just can't see the twins separated.
They will be separated. I bet you anything by next week we'll see them get it separated.
No.
So we'll either see. But Bora, like I said, is a good example of
Bora
what somebody they would probably
and
save.
she's below the line, but she has the benefit of double votes.
They could save her.
And they could save her.
I think she's good enough that they could save her.
That's
I
true.
wouldn't be surprised if over Gia, over anybody else. I think they'd probably save her.
Oh man.
There's a lot that they could save that I'm thinking the judges would recognize that their cell maybe have dragged them down or they didn't get a lot of chance to shine, but they're amazing and they might save someone like a Bora if she doesn't make it. I bet she goes up though.
Okay.
She's so good. She's my favorite ever. Forever.
I thought we would talk briefly about our top 9s as they stand right now.
Yeah.
These are our personal preference. This is the top 9 from my heart.
Yeah.
Not from my brain.
Mine will change, I'm sure.
And if you want to make one of these yourself, I put the link here if you wanted to make one.
Okay, so real quick on mine. Kim Bora is the leader and lead vocal, one of the lead vocal.
Okay.
She's also good at training others in vocalization. She's good at training with, she's experienced, right? So leader, mama. She's so wonderful. Hikaru, Surichi, and Daeon are the hip-hop team, are the rap.
Okay.
And Daeon sings with them, and Surichi and Hikaru run around looking super cool, right?
Yes.
The bottom row is your standard
Vocal.
your other vocal and other stuff. Wenji, Yeso, who is also dance. Shinzing Ting's also dance and just being super gorgeous. Eureka's the cutie, one of the cuties, along with Yeso. And Youngam here is
Dance focused.
dance. Yeah, that's not a good picture ever. I hate that picture ever.
Yeah. So my top 9 is as thus. So Richie is like in all around position. I don't have a leader picked out.
I was gonna say, who would you
in
think
mine.
for leader?
I don't know. I don't have that. Hikaru as, again, all around. She can do everything. Xiaoting as lead dancer and visual.
And she
main
could
visual.
be a leader type too, I bet.
But
Maybe.
leader
maybe.
potential.
She's had experience.
Though I think that they might want a Korean leader for the group.
Yeah.
Yeso, dance,
Is,
vocal.
Cutie patootie.
Ji-yoon as the main vocal for the team.
Oh, I see.
Rurika, dance.
Cutie patootie.
Youngyoon, dance, all around. Urina also, vocal and visual.
Yeah.
And Chaeyoon as cutie pie.
You need a cutie patootie. And she's younger too, so you need a younger cutie patootie. So you can be like, she's our baby and all that stuff. You could have 2 or 3, but
That's my... It's tough.
that's...
Because there's way more than 9 that I love.
I would bet you anything that people listening or watching or just in general, Surichi, Hikaru, Daeon, people like that are very common. Shinzin, Xiaoting. Bora might even be now after that episode. Because they were like, how was she ripped off? She sounded amazing.
And then after that I put, this is my rational brain's logical
See, I didn't make
prediction.
one of these.
No, because I just made it
That's
based
fine.
off of what we understand now that I think realistically the top 9 might be based on popularity and screen time and everything thus far.
Yeah.
Which is to say Yujin in first place, Baye in second place. Yujin as lead dancer, Baye vocal, Sorichi, Hikaru, shouting, Yeso. I put Ji-yoon, that might be a little bit of my bias speaking, but they need one super strong main vocal, and I think she's probably the best answer to that.
She probably is, yeah.
For the team, honestly.
Yeah.
And having more Korean members, because I think they'll want
They'll
that.
want that, yeah.
And then Younghoon had, all of her screen time and her I think she's getting up there
I
in
think so,
popularity.
too,
And then Doa is quite popular.
Well, where's the
as
cutie? Who's the cutie? Hikaru's a cutie.
Yeso.
Yeso, yeah.
Yeso as cutie.
She's pulling a lot of weight.
And Doa. This is my best guess as of today, based off of popularity.
Yeah, I bet
Which
so.
makes a good team.
Yeah, I'd have no problems
That's
with
a
that.
good team. It doesn't have a lot of my personal faves in it, but it's a good team.
I would not have a problem with that group.
No, I wouldn't either. Okay. Next week is the calling.
The calling. It's at 40,
I
45
hate it.
girls. Remember, they'll say 3. So there's going to be 48 left, I believe, or something like that. 46, whatever it is. The twins will be separated. It'll be 2 things. Either it'll be one of 2 things. Heartbreaking. The twin will just, I can't leave you. And they just can't. They have to physically, security have to pull them apart. or maybe even something that even makes me cry even more. As the other one's like, no, you go.
Be brave.
Do good for us, and I'll go back
I'm proud
home.
of you.
And that'll be even more sad.
Oh, man.
But also all the little friendships.
Oh, my
breaking up.
gosh.
Because not everybody is so friendly with just their cell. There are other people, and cells made friends with other cells. Also, after that they're going to break up the cells after the colon.
I think so.
They'll be individuals because they need to start. And then the good news is after this soul-rending episode, it'll start moving much faster, and it'll be easier to keep track of your faves because there's just less women, young ladies.
Well, this is going to be the longest 6 days of my life.
Yeah, it'll be hard. Well, wait till they start putting out teasers of people crying and stuff.
Oh, I can't.
It's going to happen.
Keep in mind what I said earlier about the misdirection on those
Yes,
teasers.
yeah.
Don't trust the teasers.
No, but you still will go watch it and be like, oh my God, no. Because somebody can't fake crying. They're either happy crying or sad
They're going to
crying.
cry either way. They're going to cry if they're happy. They're going to cry if they're sad. Don't trust the teasers, everyone.
If in the teasers, one of the twins is crying or both,
No.
that will be, people
No.
will riot. If Bora's crying, she might go.
I'm going to get up and watch it actually live.
Yeah, I am too. Well, 6 o'clock
I
in the
can't.
morning,
I can't wait.
No, we won't be able to wait.
I can't wait. I have to know.
I won't be able to wait.
Okay, we'll see you in approximately 7 days from when
Get
we're
plenty
recording
of
this,
sleep
everyone.
and food. Eat some good nutrition.
Yeah,
Drink lots
hydrate
of water,
well.
a lot of water, because you're going to be
Because
dehydrated
you're
from
going to be
crying.
dehydrated from crying. Yeah. Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
Good luck to everyone's faves. Thanks for listening. If you did and you made it this far, you're amazing. Thank you. Please leave us a comment. Let us
Like,
know
comment,
about
subscribe.
what you think your top favorites are. Go to that website I showed and make your top 9
it's
list.
easy.
It's
Yeah,
really cool.
Drag and drop.
And share it with us, your top 9, and prayer circle, everyone.
Yeah, have a good one. Be
See
careful.
ya.
See you next time.
See you next week.